13 points in that first half. He finished with 20, but he mentioned in his walk-off interview that the role players who normally were missing some of those shots in the first two games made them all tonight. I mean, is that what you guys saw as well? Not just the James Harden, the Kawhi Leonards of the world, but everybody else contributing. Norman Powell having his best game as well.
Man, Norman Powell was outstanding. Role players, the others, they play better at home. They get the home-cooked meals. They got the fans cheering for them, everybody wearing their jerseys. They always feel better at home. You need your stars to really show up on the road. But in this one, James got him going. He had 20 points in the first half. Everybody else chipped in. Norman Powell was outstanding, but the other guys were too. And don't forget about Big Zubac. Hell of an impact on this game.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely impacted Big Joker. I mean, that's something that we have to take a closer look at. Coming into this series, he's played the best defense on Joker in the last 10 years. And it's showing. Joker is still obviously going to be Joker, get triple-doubles and things like that. But what did you say to me? He had to score more. He's not having as easy a time as he usually had because Big Zoo.
Zubac's with those 19 points. You got Kawhi Leonard. He had 21, but he had 11 rebounds, 6 assists. They out-rebounded the Denver Nuggets by 10. But for the Nuggets, you had Aaron Gordon come out of the gate kind of hot. He had I think he had 13 points in that first quarter, finished with 15. And then, of course, the Joker, he had his triple-double as well. But why did they never get into that offensive rhythm? What was it about tonight's game?
I'm going to give credit to the defense. I thought the Clippers were on it. I also think MPJ hasn't had the breakout game that we're looking for from him as a Denver Nugget. The Denver Nugget fans looking for him to hit some jump shots. The other guy's doing a tough job. He's trying to get it going, but can't really get over the hump. So all the pressure falls on Jamal Murray, falls on Gordon, obviously falls on Jokic. Also, let's not forget about Westbrook never came back in the game from the injury that he had. That also hurt them a little bit, too, in the second half.
Yeah, I'm with him. I feel like the defense is what made it more difficult, but I think you also have to look at, when they were winning the championships, they had depth. They don't have that same depth now. I mean, they felt like that, they were able to let go of Pope, KCP, and Brown. And those guys haven't been able to fill that hole efficiently enough. And I think that's part of the struggle in this series right now.
Just 6 bench points for the Nuggets without Russell Westbrook in that second half. I mean, I know he has his ups and downs and what he can do, but does it just show his importance, even just energy-wise, getting the guys back into it when they are down? I know they had, they were down for quite some time and by, 15 or more, but just what he brings in that aspect as well. How missed was he in that second half?
Yeah, I think he was. And plus the leadership, too. I mean, obviously, he brings a huge energy off that bench. He contributes to winning in so many different ways, whether it's defense, deflections, fast break points, hitting shots, getting offensive rebounds, getting it back to his playmakers, but also his leadership. He's a guy in the huddle. He's a guy on the court that the other teammates depend on. They look to for guidance. So his presence not being there is bigger than his statistics.
Kawhi Leonard put up those 30-plus points in Game 2, 21 tonight. So, not as hot of shooting for him as before, but he didn't need to because he had those role players come in, which shows really great depth for the Clippers. But Kawhi with those 11 rebounds, 6 assists. How much do you guys enjoy watching him as a facilitator?
Man, I just love seeing Kawhi out there healthy. I feel like if Kawhi is healthy, he's available, he's going to be one of, if not the best player on the court. And that's almost every night. And he plays on both sides of the floor. That's not just offensively, that's offensively and defensively. And, he's one of those guys, he's a pace car. He's not going to say much or talk, or you just got to watch him and follow his lead.
Now that the Clippers have the 2-1 series lead, does this shift your guys' mindset of where this series could potentially go with how dominating this win was?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of questions for Game 4. The health of Russell Westbrook, what the adjustments might be over there. Bottom line is you have a championship caliber group of guys, different makeup. Like he said, there's no Jeff Green, there's no Brown, there's no KCP over there, but other guys on that team won championships. How do they adjust? Does MPJ have his first big game? Like, what are they going to do to combat the offensive firepower from the Clippers?
Yeah, because the Clippers look strong, man. They like you said, everybody's sitting on all cylinders. The substitution guys are coming in and playing well, and Denver desperately needs that. They big guns need support and help, and right now they're not able to find it.
Lots of questions for Game 4 in this series.
Of course, with the Ja Morant injury being considered, went the way it did, with turnovers, kind of ramping up for you guys in the second half and the result.
I thought we did a great job fighting for 48 minutes, but against this team, it's not enough to fight. You also have to be able to execute.
Which hip did Ja injure, and what is the nature of that injury? What do you know about that injury at this point?
He's going through further evaluations tomorrow, and then we'll know more.
Which hip?
I don't know. I just know hip.
How much do you think Ja's injury kind of affected the energy of the team going into the second half?
I would say quite drastically from the end result, but not only the energy, but also the execution.
In a season that's finished with, well, not finished quite yet, but has had a lot of hurt towards the end, or recently, I guess, how does this one sit with you personally?
Which part?
The loss and the nature of a big comeback like this.
I think it's very hard to describe it to anyone who's never been in that situation. And everyone who's been in that situation knows how it feels. So that's all I can say.
Coach, just obviously you just walked off the court, but what's the message have to be to try to rally as much as you can? I know a lot of guys probably are down with the result, but you still got one more left in this series, at least one more to give yourself a chance on the home court.
Yeah, our togetherness is seriously tested right here. So that's the message. Stick together, do our best. We saw today where it can lead to, especially in the first half. Got to keep doing that.
Coach, I know it's tough to look at positives after that result, but the first half and the way you guys played up until Ja got hurt, even a little bit after that, just how would you describe it, how happy you were with that performance and the way they came out?
It's not tough to describe the positives because there were a lot of those. That's not lost on me. We played as a true collective for 24 minutes, moving the ball, each guy fighting for each other, and I think it's a great blueprint for any basketball team in the world to follow if they want to win.
Yeah, Coach, to look at things you can build off of, just can you talk about what Scotty gave you with that big, start? Was that something you expected, or is it just something Scotty kind of pulled out of thin air? And then on the downside, what's the gut punch like? This loss compared to like the game 1, game 2 losses, how does it hit you differently, so to speak, and how can you learn from that?
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tên là